Hey, everybody, welcome to the fourth episode of the Strategy Game podcast. I am your host, Lauren Shippey, and today I'm excited about this conversation as we dig into why continuous alignment is critical to success now more than ever. So let's talk about alignment today. And alignment, really, I go back to the definition here, and it means arrangement in a straight line or in correct or appropriate relative positions. And this arrangement in a straight line immediately triggers the word order in my mind. Alignment in our organizations and lives create order. And what does order feel like? It feels like organization, proper prioritization, and clarity around strategy and the actions that stem from that strategy. And now more than ever during this time, I believe that we are searching for the ultimate order in our lives and in our businesses so that we can navigate through this winding road that we're on right now. And just imagine with me for a minute the possibilities and the productivity and the impact that could stem from you having regular order in your life. And last week we talked about how practicing active listening can really lead us in identifying root cause issues versus surface level issues. If you haven't checked that out, definitely check that out on our blog. And we're also going to be doing a podcast on it and how that really saves organizations some serious time and money. So when we're able to identify and strategize around root causes of things, we can begin to achieve more regular order in our strategy. And when we become razor sharp at identifying root causes and building strategies around them, we create order or alignment in our organizations. Why is this so critical to success? And especially right now, without continuous alignment, we encounter a lack of clear direction, a lack of connection between the organization's vision and operations, and a team that may feel like they're not able to maximize their performance, especially right now. I know we've been talking a lot about the importance of over communication, intentional connection right now to be able to fuel direction. But how do we find direction right now in a time that is so unknown? And we don't have a crystal ball. We can't see the future. We don't know exactly what will happen, but there are some things that we can do and that we do know to be able to continuously create order and alignment for ourselves to be able to lead our businesses and our teams. So here's a framework that can help you as a leader practice this continuous alignment. I'm going to read it out. It's the continuous alignment framework. It's the first step is listening. The second is identifying root causes. The third is translation. And the fourth is setting priorities. If you have a piece of paper, grab it right now and write these down. Notice that it starts with listening. And we'll talk about why. Identify root causes, translation, and setting priorities. So we have the ability to practice this framework over and over again daily with ourselves and our teams in order to create repeated clarity for ourselves at any moment. So let's look at each of the components within this framework. The first is listening. Practice active listening daily with yourself and your team. What are you hearing? And what are you hearing from your team? What is and is not being said? And I know in the previous podcast, we talked about moving things from the subconscious up to the conscious level. So you can do this with yourself and with your team. And that's what I mean by what is and is not being said. So for yourself, what subconscious things do you need to recognize? And for others, for your team, what subconscious things do you need to recognize and intentionally address? So when we start with listening first, really listening, really hearing, then we can move to step number 2, which is identifying root causes. So pinpoint the correct underlying causes of issues or scenarios that need to be addressed. So there are probably many things right now that need to be addressed, right? Immediate strategy, immediate plans that are shifting and are fluid right now. So listing those out, listening for those root causes, identify the root causes, instead of just the Band-Aids to the solution, if that makes sense. So we can put a Band-Aid on something, but it will only hold for so long. If we actually identify the root cause, we can receive healing on the surface level, and then we can actually begin to create solutions that can drive future profitability. So the third step is translation. So connect the key issue list with the vision and mission of your company, of your movement, of your nonprofit. So what is the ideal solution using the lens of your organization's identity? We talk a lot about identity-based strategy here. And if you don't know what identity-based strategy is, it's just this phrase that has really been on my mind over this last year. Just who you are, who your company is, or who your movement or nonprofit is, and how does that identity translate into your strategy? Because when people see that and when customers see that consistent brand messaging, then it connects, it translates, there is alignment, and they can begin to just engage with you so freely and in a different way than they would if there are things that aren't matching up or things that aren't quite right in the messaging or the sales or the product offerings, right? So it all aligns together. So I would say just connect that key issue list that you've identified those root causes with, and then look at your vision, go back to your mission and say, what am I really doing here? What am I on mission to do? And in light of that, how can I solve these root causes? And the last thing is really setting priorities. So based on quarterly objectives, prioritize these key issues to keep in step with where you're headed. And right now, you might only be able to take 1 week at a time. So this might not be quarterly right now. You might be doing this weekly. You might be really listening to yourself and your team. You might be identifying any root causes. Then you might be translating with the vision and the mission of your company, the organization, and then you're setting priorities. This might be daily right now, right? So prioritize those key issues to keep in step with where you're headed and create order and alignment. And this is a repeatable framework that can be used every day. And you can use it with yourself and you can use it with your team. You can encourage them in breakout sessions to listen to each other, identify root causes, and translate that into setting priorities and a strategy. And so this really opens up conversation with them and invites them into the practice of listening first and pinpointing issues accurately, and then designing solutions and outcomes that are in alignment with the vision and mission of the organization. So the continuous alignment framework empowers them to make decisions on our behalf in a way that we can trust as leaders, because we know that they're starting with listening first. So thanks for tuning in today. We're so glad that you joined us. And if you want more, we have recorded, my colleague and I, Mike Gonzalez, have recorded a 40-minute free webinar on the 3 types of customers that are going to be emerging from quarantine. You don't want to miss it. It's full of latest research on the 3 new customer types that are going to emerge from the quarantine. And we walk through actionable steps that you can take to prepare for these new customer types as you reopen your business. So if you want this, head to www.storywork.co/webinar to get it.